Greetings, this is August 4th, almost 9 p.m., and a brief update or heads up on the Keremeos Creek fire. There's new evacuation orders in effect. We're looking at the Canadian Wildland Information System. We can see some patterned hotspots on the M3 system, and now we're zoomed in looking at Keremeos at the bottom of the screen, Olalla in the middle of the screen. The small dots at the top of the screen are the hotspots. They're approaching from the north. The BC Wildfire Service has updated their report on this fire of note, and there are planned ignitions, so those could be controlled infrared signatures. In this satellite update, those hotspots are still to the north and west of Highway 3A. I'm not seeing any hotspots crossing the highway. There will also be a link to all these resources in the description below, as well as the BC Wildfire Service update page on this fire. Let's jump over to Windy now. As forecasted yesterday, high winds came in from the west, blowing to the east. The gusts exceeded 30 kilometers an hour. That will have an effect on fire behavior. We're looking at some subdued winds over the evening, and then again tomorrow the winds will pick up, and this time they're anticipated to come from the north. So if you are east, south, or southeast of this fire line, you'll want to go to the BC Wildfire page and get updates on the ground reports. What's happening? How is the fire behaving? What is the status? Let's jump over to the Fire Information Resource Management System. This is put out by NASA. We can see there are 9 fires of note in the province of British Columbia. I've got it on a gray screen, just looking at the hotspots over the last 24 hours. I'm not seeing a lot of new hotspots under 24 hours due to cloud cover. Let's zoom into Keremeos. There we can see Skaha Lake on the right-hand side of the screen. Similkameen is over on the left-hand side of the screen. Keremeos at the bottom of the screen. We can see a lot of patterning on the northeast flank of this fire as well as on the southern flank. We're zooming in now. Olalla is in the approximately center of the screen. We're looking at MODIS hotspots and VWIRS, the smaller ones. Those squares may be up to 1 kilometer off depending on the angle of the satellite, and those squares do not mean that fire is consuming the entire square. It just means that heat was detected somewhere in that square. So we always want to get the ground report, because although this information is valuable, it's not as accurate as having eyes on the ground. Now we've zoomed out a bit. We're looking at the northeast and eastern flank of this fire. Skaha Lake is over on the right-hand side of the screen, and we can see that patterning quite clearly. That could be an indication of some controlled burning going on. Yellow Lake and Highway 3A are just below center on the screen, and I'm seeing hotspots up on the hillside just to the north of Yellow Lake. They've not crossed the highway. Those indications are at a much higher elevation. We are looking at 24-hour data, and if I jump to just today's new hotspots, I'm not seeing a lot of indication there. There has been a lot of cloud cover haze obscuring our visual of the ground. Using the drop-down menu on the right-hand side of the screen, we can toggle the satellite overview. We'll just jump to the MODIS system. And here we can see a lot of cloud, haze, and smoke that's obscuring our visual of the hotspots in the area. So there will be a link in the description below to the BC Wildfire Service map, and there you can get a visual of the perimeter where the evacuation orders and alerts are. And if you click on the fire of note icon, the little flame, you can go to more information and see what the status is, They also have visuals there of what the crews are doing and what the behavior of the fire is. Very valuable information. The link again in the description below. Go there and keep up to date on what is happening. I also took a quick look over at DriveBC to see what webcams were available. This is the index page. The link will be below. Make sure you select BC highway cams. That's about halfway down on the index. We're looking at some road closures. The secondary roads, Green Mountain and the road going into Headley, are closed. Also, 3A is closed currently around the Yellow Lake area. We can see what could be some haze. It could also just be the sunlight coming down onto the camera. The road looks clear. I do perceive some smoke in the background on the camera back at the junction with Highway 97. So there is active fire in the area. Expect some poor visibility. And of course, please watch for wildlife if you're out and about. They may be trying to move across roads and highways. So do keep a good watch on the road ahead. Watch the shoulders. I'm probably a little rusty with all the humidity we've been having, but I do believe this information is valuable, and please check out the links below in the description. Thank you to all the wildfire crews out there working to control these fires. And a shout out to XLR and Grant and Irene. Thank you so much for your comments. Brings me joy. Keep your nose to the breeze.